Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the class Buddhism 408, Buddhist Philosophy. Today's date is August 1st, 2022. I guess it is the fourth session, fourth week. And it's good to remind that next week, which is August 8th, August 8th will be the midterm, not this week, but next one. Please remember. So next week, we will be having the exam, midterm exam. Okay, now we have been discussing about the Buddhist philosophy. So far, we have been introducing you very important concepts of early Buddhist philosophy. Last week, as you may remember, we discussed about the causality, dependent origination, the central philosophy of Buddhism, of course. And today, our topic is on 3 characteristics of existence. In the book, it is the, I think it is the, fourth chapter, chapter 4, 3 characteristics of existence. This is also one of the key concepts in Buddhism. When we talk about the Buddhist philosophy, as we discussed last week, causality or the causal relationship is a very fundamental, very important philosophy in Buddhism. And the next one, arising from that concept, is the 3 characteristics of existence. When you say 3 characteristics of existence, it means that Buddhist philosophy identifies human existence, or any, for that matter, existence, okay, has 3 fundamental, basic, inherent characteristics. 3 important characteristics that you find in anything in this world. When I say anything, it belongs to our lives too, right? So human existence has these 3 characteristics. These are the sometimes in some books you find as signata, 3 signata of human existence. And in some places you may find the Pali term, it's called Tilakkana. Ti means 3, Lakkana means characteristics, 3 characteristics of human life, human existence. So what are these 3? We have to discuss that thing. You have to understand that thing today. The very first one is human existence is impermanent. Impermanent. First thing is, let's identify these 3 things. First one is impermanence. Second one is unsatisfactoriness. So in other words, human existence is first impermanent, second unsatisfactory. We will discuss it later. And the third one is a non-substantial. Non-substantial. There's nothing to be taken as substance. So that's called non-substantial. So in Pali, in Buddhist language, the 3 characteristics are anicca. Anicca means impermanence. Dukkha, very famous word in Buddhism. Dukkha, unsatisfactoriness. And the third one, anatta, or non-substantiality. not non-substantial nature of everything. So these three signata, or these three signs, these three characteristics are prevalent. You find it all the time in human existence. So when you say impermanent, what does it? What do you mean by it? Buddhism identifies that everything in this world, inanimate and animate, live things and not living things, everything. The first characteristic is that everything is impermanent. Nothing is permanent. But in our mind, we have the wrong notion that I am existing, it is me, something like that, and everything does exist. But Buddhism says, yes, everything exists, but impermanent. Every second, things are changing. So we are in a state of flux, F-L-U-X, flux. In a state of flux, everything is changing. So when everything changes, that is one of the very first characteristics. When everything changes so quick, so fast, the second thing that human existence is characterized with is unsatisfactoriness. When things change, we feel unsatisfactoriness. We want to keep things as it is. You want to stay young as you are right now. You want to stay stable, healthy as you are now. But things change. When things change, when you look at the mirror, oh, gray hair and whatever, wrinkles and things like that, you feel unsatisfactory. Oh, I cannot exist the same way every day. So unsatisfactoriness arises, okay? You become unsatisfied. That is the second nature. That is called dukkha. In Buddhism, everything is identified as dukkha. Dukkha means unsatisfactory. This is a very big concept in Buddhism, something that has been misunderstood by many, by the Western thinkers, Western philosophers, and Western scholars. When Buddhism says life is unsatisfactory, they interpret as Buddhism as a pessimistic religion. Pessimistic means the religion that talks about the bad side of life. When you hear that life is dukkha, life is unsatisfactory, you feel like, oh my goodness, there is no satisfaction in this life. So why should I try to do this? And why do I try to achieve things? Because things are unsatisfactory. It makes you lazy. It makes you lethargic, something like that. But that is not the idea. The reality of things is that everything is suffering, or everything is unsatisfactory. Why they are unsatisfactory? Because things change so fast. We cannot keep things as it is. And in Greek philosophy also, during the time of the same time, there was a philosopher called Heraclitus, and he also was of the same opinion like the Buddha. He put his his theory of impermanence in very beautiful way. He said that no one can step into a river 2 times. you cannot see the same water in a river 2 times. Why? The river changes every second. The flow of water, of course, understandable, changing every second. And at the same time, the Buddha, according to Buddhist philosophy, Buddha says it is the river that changes as well as the person who is going to step into the water. Person is himself changes as the river. So a person as well as the river in that situation changes the same way. So this type of idea, it is because of that change that everything becomes unsatisfactory. If everything does not change, unsatisfactoriness might not arise. Because if I can stay the same all the time in my life, if I do not have sickness, old age, or any other challenges in my life, then that type of life cannot be unsatisfactory, right? Life is unsatisfactory because things are changing every second. So that is impermanence and as well as unsatisfactory. Those are connected. It is because of impermanence that life is, human existence is unsatisfactory. Okay, so they are interconnected. And the third signata or third characteristics of existence is called anatta. Anatta means non-substantiality, non-substantial nature of existence. When you say substantial, it means there is something to be grasped, something to be taken, something to be upheld as substance. But when you say non-substantial, it means there is nothing to be taken as me, mine, or myself. Okay, so when everything is in a state of flux, a state of change, when everything is in suffering, when everything is unsatisfactory, there is no anything, there's nothing that we can hold on to as substantial, as something that could be taken as a valuable thing. So this is the idea. The third one, anatta. So you see the three signata is interconnected. Because of impermanence, it is unsatisfactory. Because of its unsatisfactory, nothing to be taken as substantial. So it's non-substantial. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. These are the three characteristics of existence. And Buddhist ideas develop based on this basic concept, basic philosophy, this basic view that everything everything is in a state of change. And the third one is very important. Anatta, or non-substantial nature of life or existence. When you say non-substantial, it means that there is no something called self. When things change, when things are unsatisfactory, there is no something called self. If there is a self, then it could not be changed. It cannot be unsatisfactory, right? Because during the time of the Buddha, there were some philosophers who taught that there is a permanent entity within us. Permanent entity, even though our outside world is changing, but that permanent self or soul, even today, some people believe that there is unchanging soul in us. And that soul transmigrates when you pass away, when you die, when your body disintegrates. What happened to that self, that soul, is that will go to heaven or hell. That type of idea. But in Buddhism, there's no place for such an idea, because there is no permanent self. If there is permanent self, then you have the capacity, you have the ability to change things the way you want. You could be able to stop the impermanent nature. You should be able to change the unsatisfactory nature. So you cannot do like that. In that way, there is no inner agent within us, interior agent within us that govern you, that can guide you. So in that way, there is no self, there is no soul. So everything just exists based on these three characteristics. So that is the Buddhist view of human existence. Very important, because this, based on this idea, Buddhism discuss about the karma and rebirth and many other concepts. There is no permanent self, which is a rather difficult thing to understand in the Western scenario, Western situation, because we believe in the West we believe that we are created and there is soul within us, and nobody can hurt that soul. That soul goes to heaven or hell depending on actions. So that type of idea. But according to Buddhist philosophy, that's a mistake. That is a mistake. There is no self. If you divide, in Buddhism, you find this teaching. Human being is a combination of changing forces, 5 important changing forces, factors. So we call Panchakanda, bundle, 5 bundles together is called human being. These 5 bundles, when you separate them, these 5 bundles, they are Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, Vijnana. Rupa means the form, physical form, and Vedana is the feelings. Sanya is the perceptions. We have the, perception. Without those things, there is no me. And then the third one is formations. Our mind is thinking on various things. We have the capacity to create things in our mind, our intentions, and then last one, consciousness. The consciousness is inside us. It is because of the other factors, consciousness arises. Without the combination of these 5 factors, there is no me, there is no person, there is no Jack, Jill, or Harry, or whoever. All these 5 forces, 5 factors, in a state of togetherness, they arise the person. So there is no person other than these 5 things. We, in the conventional usage, conventional language, use the word, whatever, the name and table, chair, whatever. If you analyze them, you find only those 5 things, right? a human being, in a way, human being, if you analyze human being, you find only those 5 things. So there is no soul, permanent soul, okay? There is no permanent self, but with the combination of those 5 things, a self arises, but that is changing. Every second it changes. Consciousness arises, but it changes. So there is no permanent in these forces, in these factors. That is the idea. So in order to explain the human existence in this world, Buddhism comes up with this idea, the 3 characteristics of human existence. Because of these 3 characteristics, that human beings should strive to find a release, salvation, what you may call Nibbana. Nibbana is going beyond these 3 characteristics. When you have the state of Nibbana, you do not find these characteristics there, because you go beyond this level. That's the idea. So, so it's important for you to understand in this class, as Buddhist philosophy, it is a fundamental teaching of Buddhist philosophy is that human existence is characterized by these 3 things: impermanence, unsatisfactoriness, and non-substantiality of, that means another word, no self. Okay, I hope you understand, it is clear. So if you get a chance, please go through this little chapter. It's not a big chapter, only few pages. And that will help you to grasp the idea very clearly. So, and also do a little research, as I have been always telling you. Online, there are so many sources, and elaborate your understanding. And if you have any question, please let me know so I can help you. That is it for today. Human existence, the 3 characteristics. Okay. Thank you so much, and we will meet next week for the midterm exam. Get ready for the exam. Exam will be based on the things that we have already discussed for these 5 weeks. Nothing more. So don't worry about extra things, only these things. Okay. So thank you very much. Have a wonderful week.